Starting with knight f3, and okay, looks like we're almost maybe, yeah, I was gonna say we're probably playing against a hippo here if I had to guess. Obviously this will be of no consequence to our opening, and again guys, not surprising, I've always recommended take the whole center. Like if your opponent's playing something like this, at some point, right, you do have to kind of grab what's in front of you there. D5 opening trying to open the middle at least looks reasonable. So he's not going to do it. He's going to play knight e5. I think we should probably take that. And I could actually see just a low-key kind of game taking. Yeah, no big deal. No big deal. We could also play c4, which I think if we're being honest, this is a bit more standard for our opening. And wow, I'm surprised by that, I have to say. Okay, I'll bring the bishop back. Long castle. Wow, okay, immediately a5. Immediately c4. And I think c5. Trying to play c6, but also disconnecting the queen from that pawn. So we'll see how this works out. That was a shocking move to castle like that. So let's see what he's got. c6 is a reasonably effective move here, but I would say rook a4 looks nice. Notice this bishop, I mean, it's just, there's no need to develop it. Let's take. Okay, he's handing us a piece. We don't mind that. Just make sure to say thank you. We got our bishops both tucked. We didn't really do anything special this game. All we did is as soon as we saw long castle, we just kind of sent it, everything forward. Knight g4. Hunting for the KO here. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to hunt for a while, I would say. Queen a7 strikes me as a very good move. It will definitely be the move we go for. I think you got to move the c-pawn here to avoid instant death, and then it'll just be slow death, you know, with bishop takes. Maybe he's gonna not take on b7. But the problem is it's not like his position is good in any other way. So even if he doesn't take there, because I think he sees bishop a6, but even if he doesn't take, should still be problematic. I think we probably just take on a6 here. Knight c4 in order to play knight b6 though is particularly tempting because we just know that he's gonna do that. Yeah. We can take, but at this point I'm also interested in this one. However, might get us in more trouble. King here. Yeah, no, I think this is the way to go. Man, I wish we had a mate here. We have check. That should lead to something good rather than taking. King has to go back somewhere here. Okay, now the important part. Take here, and then knight takes g4 should be a mate. And a nice one with the pieces. GG. The hippo, very totally inconsequential opening. All I'd say is against the hippo, like eventually take the center. If you stay too far back like this and play it as if you're playing against some of the other main openings that we play against, it won't make sense. Like, yes, I can play like this, but why would I not take the center, right? D4 is a no-brainer, so definitely if your opponent plays like that, I would take the center. I decided to try to open things up, but as soon as he castled, it was like full send. Like I was not gonna let him breathe there. And I mean, the game ended very quickly, but pretty much because he long castled. Had he castled this way, would have had a much different, much longer game. Okay, we're gonna start with knight f3. Okay, so he is a c5 player, which means we definitely expect like a6, rook b8, and b5. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw in an early a4. I've been doing this so that after this we can try a5. I don't know if it's good or not, but now here either knight d2 or queen a4. I think we'll go with knight d2. The queen a4 also looks like it will be a good move soon. But yeah, just trying to clamp down on these pawns, not let them play b5. We've kind of gotten used to this Sicilian, you know, kind of like a dragon setup where we do this. Now, this is an important moment because I don't think I can do what I'd like to do, which is not take, because we always don't take in this opening, but I think we have to here. And then I think we have to stop knight there. And the reason I say that is if I move my knight like that, knight takes a5, looks like a sacrifice, but after the rook takes back, we lose the knight there. So instead, we're just going to build up our position the same way, except we've taken. So nothing really changes with our moves, but this one is a little bit unusual here. Okay, rook, I'm just going to play this move anyway, I think. Bishop f1 looks fine, but I don't think anything looks more fine than knight e4. Hitting that pawn, extremely tough to defend because we're stopping b6. Do have to watch out for some mate threats here. Like I can see some lines with, you know, queen d5 in the future, but we always have bishop f1 to cover, bishop f3 to cover. And again, I love this coordination. Knight on c4 covering the pawn stopping that. Let's take this. And d4 may run into the move e5. So I am definitely a little apprehensive to play that one. Because I think he's going to be, yeah, he'll be pretty excited to do that. So let's just bring the knight back. We want a pawn. Yeah, he's playing e5, of course. I think we'll go here. f5 looks like a very bad move, but yeah, he'll play that move to take care of it naturally. Okay, so we have knight here, which means I'm not terribly concerned about this position. I kind of want to play b4, but it doesn't look like a move we can reliably do right now. Does this knight have a discovery? I don't know. I don't know that it does. Let's defend everything. We're weakening this pawn, which definitely bothers me, but I think we're going to immediately snap to the defense with rook c1. We're up a good pawn, a c pawn here. Okay, looks like this might be the move. I'm actually not too sure. We could play f3 here. Just watch over things. I don't really mind f3. Can also get our king back. I think maybe we can swing this bishop a little bit. You have to be so careful all the time of this pawn. Like, move e4 is just going to come flying in. I think rook e1 or rook f1. Sucks to have so many pieces tied down here, but just biding our time. I think objectively knight e3 would be a good move just to trade, but he goes ahead and blunders pretty big. I mean, he wanted to defend the rook, and c7 was the only square, but then he blundered the whole other rook, so just a complete disaster of a move. Queen c8. Yeah, one thing I'll say about this setup, we've started to see it more and more, is I like to go early a4 and early knight c4. And yes, they will play d5. Yes, we'll probably have to take, go for similar moves, but they usually go for this plan, and a5 is, I think, really nice to get. And then after this, important to support your knight with the other knight, and then that a pawn is permanent. So, okay, we have, I think, our first title player, but title players usually have more opponent scrutiny. So we'll see if we pass the sniff test. Ooh, okay, so we're going to get a London, and it's from a title player who's probably going to get an early h3 in on us, which means we could be in for a good battle here. Have to find a way to... Let's go knight d7. Have to find a way to, you know, get that e5 move in one way or another. I suspect we'll see this. So he's not a regular London player. He's a kind of Jobava London player. Nice c6 move, I would say. Queen a5 here, I don't normally play, but kind of looks interesting. Like, threatens to win a pawn. It doesn't look crazy. I would normally not do it. And if bishop d2, maybe queen b6. Because bishop d2 does not look like a good move. Takes the bishop off a good square. Okay, so he's redeveloping. He's developing the bishop again. Achievement for me, I would say. Knight c5, yeah, it does exist. Probably should be played. Let's think here. I guess we'll play knight c5. Are we going to see f3? Good chance. Instead, he just goes back. We have the bishop pair waiting for us here, but it's only okay. I wouldn't say it's anything crazy. Yeah, I don't think I'm in a rush to take that, actually. Let's go here, make that threat we were talking about. Knight g4, I don't think that does anything too useful. But I guess knight there is just happening. I don't know, just kind of feel like this game is something where I tried to do something with my pieces early, but I'm not really seeing it. So I'm gonna just default back to like basic good position, like the same position that we always get from this opening. So not going to try to do too much there. A5's always nice. A3, A4. And bishop c4, currently there's b5. So definitely going to see some A move. I think here, A3, A4. I don't know which one, but I suspect one of them. Or maybe b3. Okay, let's tuck the bishop. Yeah, knight there. I think we want to go just g6. Bishop g5 is not too bothersome. We can go knight h5 into that square. We also have knight e6 with tempo in the future. This knight will definitely be making its way to e6, I think. I think bishop here. We also have a fancy move to play like that, but it does seem unnecessary. Let's just go here. Yeah, bishop here, I think knight h5 at this point, but we could also go knight d7, which is a super good reroute as well. Yeah, this knight coming to e6. That knight's trapped at the moment. I can't attack it, but it's also, it can't move. So position is looking pretty nice for us. Knight e6 looks like a really good move next. And you're just seeing the power of e5, knight c5, a5. Just securing that square for the knight at all times. We want to go here. I think I'll probably play this, although knight h5 looks fantastic as well. But I'll probably do this. We'll see bishop c4, I guess. Yeah, now we can go knight h5, knight there. He's probably going to bring the knight back. b5 we have. And it's just, everything's kind of working here. Queen f3, knight d4. I mean, he's obviously going to lose on time here, but yeah, this is a extremely good coordination. Put it that way. We also have b5 next. So even though we're not up any material here, I think black is firmly in control. So we didn't actually get many moves. Like, we only played 20 moves. It kind of just flagged. But yeah, I think we were honestly better off in the opening as soon as we just stopped doing too much. Like, as soon as we just were like, okay, bishop e7. Our setup's been working all the way up to 2100. What are we doing? We don't need to reinvent anything. Trying to like punish him for his weird opening moves. And he had a lot of weird opening moves. He played bishop e2, bishop d3, and he played bishop e3, bishop d2. So we know that he was wasting tons of time in the opening, but still, I couldn't see anything too specific. So I was like, okay, let's just go back to basics. And it worked just fine. All right. We go with the knight first. Let's go with the c3 move. Always feels feels pretty good here. Okay. It looks to me like there may be a pawn to snatch here. I'm definitely going to start with b4 and see what he's up to. Okay, b5 and takes looks good, but I think I'm going to throw in a5 because, yeah, b5 and take, it wins a pawn, but sometimes those moves too early can be a little too much. It's hard though because he really is a freebie. It really is a freebie. All right. Well, let's see how this goes. Yeah, he goes here. I'm not sure it actually does anything. So here I will offer that queen exchange, mainly because I don't think it deters anything. But yeah, I don't know. The game just becomes a bit of a different position. Okay. Well, castle. And I guess I'm not too sure here what we want to do. We have the bishop pair, so we're content. But this guy's strong. Do not underestimate that piece right there. Very strong piece. I'm thinking about putting the queen all the way out. Maybe we can scare him into thinking that we have devious intentions, when really I would be comfortable if everyone just agreed to a nice peaceful result here. This pawn is hanging. I guess we go here. It's just really not exactly what we want. Okay, here we're definitely going to go back. I know there's a knight coming in, so I got to watch out for that. But knight e5 is not the end of the world. We always have queen e2. For now, we'll make a threat. gets defended. I think it's time to get rid of the most insane piece on the chessboard. This bishop on b6. I'm done dealing with that. Take that, I think. And then we got to start getting some pawns on dark squares. Let's take... g3 is important. Knight e5, bishop b3. And can I keep everything defended? That's the question. Knight g4 he wants to play. I knew that he wanted to play it so much that I figured he would consider h5. Takes, pawn takes, might win the game. So that could be a good one here. I don't think taking on e5 is any good, so yeah, g6 might actually work out for him. Still don't think he can take, but... we have some pieces that can swing over this way. We're definitely going to see knight g6. And then I think queen g4. And with the bishop here, he should be feeling a little bit nervous about this knight. Right, king g7 is no good. And here we have just f5, I think. Yeah, we just want to win this knight. It's a good move. I think we have this, so we should still win the knight. Actually could have just taken it with the queen, but I don't mind this. It's a guaranteed knight either way. Everything's defended here, so I think we can start to get some pretty safe pre-moves in. And we have more time than him, so we'll be able to win that one. Very nice. 21-28. Take another one. What happened? I realized his name was like FI, FIDE instructor. I actually thought that he was like, I thought maybe he had a stutter and his username was reflective of that. FIDE instructor. But it quickly occurred to me that it's probably the abbreviation. Like it's probably the, yeah. Never mind. I think we made the appropriate call, guys, to push forward. Definitely missed a nice move. Bishop g4. Wasn't even thinking about it. Oops. But it seems we made pretty decent moves. The one thing though is just dealing with that bishop. It's such a strong piece. Really got to watch out for it on that diagonal. And yeah, as soon as he went for that, I knew that something was up. And yeah, we have queen takes g6 here, which is quite strong. But rook g3 is, at least our mistakes are never mistakes where we're worse after. They're mistakes like, you missed a good move, you played a great one. We're taking on Martin, but a much different one. We need d6 so that this doesn't happen. Now we welcome it because there's a nice queen trade there. Knight d7. We want e5 next. A lot of people do f4 here, but knight f3 is standard. And here we need to play bishop e7 so that knight g5 is answered by castling. Of course, c6, a5. We never let our opponent, for example, play a4, a5, because that's too much space on the queen side. We're not in the business of allowing that. Okay, probably h6. And we may indeed need to capture in order to free up some space, but don't think we'll do it right away. And we see d5, so that gives me that square. I'm immediately going to jump on it. I'm hitting the bishop, but I'm also hitting the pawn. So I think my opponent's going to react to the pawn here, or I suspect they should. Going to take back with the pawn to cover all these squares from the knight. Pawn on c6 is the unsung hero of this entire operation here. And now, even when this pawn gets defended, I think I'm debating, but I think we want to take that. So might start with rook b8. Ooh, okay. There's knight there. Maybe not ideal, but we can take, knight takes, and we have bishop e6. So there's a pawn loose behind it. I like this opening very much. Yeah, I think we're going to take. Knight takes looks like an achievement, but I think after bishop e6, we should be in good shape. Rook a3, we do have d5. But yeah, d5 also comes with some risk there. Takes and queen b7, question mark. I think we do win a pawn there, but at what cost? So let's do this first. You can see we're just planning to take there, and yes, we will. I think he should keep the queens on here. Like, I don't know, queen e2 maybe, queen d2. So I think that is objectively the right choice, and he does do it. Credit to him. Let's go rook here. I'm expecting bishop h4 next. I think we're just going to play bishop e7 to guard it. And yeah, we're kind of trying to just double, triple on the b file. Meanwhile, queen e6 looks like a really nice retreat. Also queen c2, threatening stuff. But yeah, I think we're going to keep it simple and just go back to e6, defend, and then we have, yeah, rook over. Let's take this. Queen trade for him at this point is very clearly bad, and I think he understands that. Okay, we have a nice threat here. He does see it. Drats. I think we want to play g6, king g7. Okay, he's going to go ahead and offer us every pawn, but it's not the pawns that interest me. It's the piece. GG. Very standard opening. At this point, it was like right at the breaking point where we were maybe going to take and develop the knight, because at some point you've made all the useful moves in your position. If your opponent's keeping the tension, you're not wise to maintain it past that. But he pushed. That's the exact moment he pushed. So it gave me an easy knight c5, an easy game plan for the rest of the game. And yeah, we just piled on pressure there and won the pawn, and it was pretty easy after that. All right, let's see. Ooh, I'm not even going to attempt that name. d6, knight f6. We just had this opening. A lot of people play pawn f4, but knight f3 is the very standard move. Bishop e3. So as usual, you know, I'm just he played here. We're gonna have to exchange dark squared bishops. Not ideal. Wow, I can't believe he didn't want to exchange dark squared bishops with me. What the heck? Well, he got his bishop where he needed to, only 20 moves later. Let's go a5. And probably castle here, rook e8. Okay, because of that move, I'm definitely looking a little bit more at takes on d4. Just because it's such an aggressive aggressive reply, but I'm also looking at the move d5, and I think that's ultimately what I might land on here. Just because, yeah, this means if everything opens up, I don't know, it has to benefit me, I feel. This is not one that I would say is very thought through. But as long as you put the, I mean, g4 just can't be good, right? What's the result here? We've traded the entire center, and he's got this kind of fake attack with the g pawn. I don't really believe in it. We can take here, no problem, but knight d3 and queen takes f4. That looks like the way to go. Note that we can also play bishop d6 here. Like, there's lots of ways to continue just fine. But yeah, I think that I am going to go for this. I feel like even at the cost of h7, this is probably good. Okay, it goes back here, but something about this that I'm really not believing. Bishop b4, rook e8. We have rook d8. So rook here, I guess he'll play queen e3. That would be my guess. At least he maintains his extra pawn. Bishop f6 is another way to kind of clear the way for the pieces. Honestly, low key. f5. This could be maybe the best of all the worlds. I mean, it does trade my bishop pair, but we should be, I don't know, I feel like we should be opening and opening and opening the position. Knight here, I mean, we have rook d8, bishop g5, bishop b4. Feels like we have a lot of moves coming. And takes, we're going to take with the rook. And yeah, just don't see how he can deal with the f3 knight. So he does go here, but man, rook d8 is looking very good right now. Rook d8 is one of those moves that just must be the move. What is the move here? I guess we have to take this. Not really what we wanted to do. And now this, maybe bishop h4. Definitely moderately off the hook, I would say. Yeah, rook takes d2. Unfortunately, my queen was just hanging. I definitely survived a little bit longer than I would have liked. Instead of rook d8, we had other moves like bishop g5, but we also have to make decisions with 25 seconds. Like, do I want to be waiting and hunting for the very best move there, or just keep things moving? You know, bishop h4. We're still going to have a good position here. I think keeping it moving is the play. Trade queens, rook d2, bishop f5. I didn't really see anything after that. This is definitely not bad, though. This knight doesn't have many useful squares to go to. Okay, but that one is just a free piece. He's kind of in one of those positions where every time that it's my turn, I can just give him a check, and he'll never expect which one. So it takes him longer to react than it does for me to play them. So I'll basically always be able to gain time at the end like that. Yeah, a lot of pieces moving. Honestly, here, knight g4, to be honest with you, was premature. We should probably have played one of these moves. I kind of forgot that bishop g5 was a move. Usually I have bishop e7 already played when I do this. It feels a little bit better. But the way it worked out was, yeah, pretty bad for him because he literally played like bishop e3, bishop g5, bishop d2, bishop e3. It's like so many bishop moves, so we had to be ahead. And here, there's lots of good moves, but I think d5 is the best. There's no way that this is not the play. And here, I mean, so many good moves, but none of them were really jumping out at me. I mean, I definitely like the look of this, but the one move I missed here was that rook d2 was with check. Because I was trying to go here and maybe deliver a mate, but there's no mate to be had. And yeah, apart from rook d2 with check there, we would just need a different move altogether here, like maybe bishop g5. But definitely the move that I played was not the not the most impressive. Knight f3 to start. Okay, he's got a very similar setup to us, but he is going to fianchetto, so. As you guys know, that bishop move will almost always get knight g5 out of me. Okay, so now bishop e6, he's just handing over to us. He does have d5, so yeah, he's not playing completely crazy or anything like that. Let's go queen a4. Obviously d5, you know, must be happening here. Must be. Let's go g3. Got to move the knight now. We can go into b6. I don't know. Is that the best place for that piece? I'm thinking of just knight e3, and if d4 would just return. And again, always take back on c3 with that pawn. So if I move the bishop, then d4 takes and queen d3 is in the air. So I want to be a little bit careful there. I think we'll take that. Bring the rook to defend e4. And again, d4, knight c4 is probably good for us. Still no need to rush any development there. Now I think maybe even that could be played. Bring the king over. I want to go here, but d4 is always annoying. I think taking at that point was probably the move. Takes and play like knight g4 or something. But we can't be that upset with this. I think we'll take that. We're trying to get him to play d4. I think we can do this now because d4, which has always looked good. We now have knight g4 check. So at least that's a little bit different. I think we'll try Knight f1. I think he wants to play g5. Knight c2 seems to make a lot of sense here. This knight is definitely annoying. I feel like if we get rid of that, then we have some hope. What are we gonna do here? This, I want to do like, I guess maybe g6. Ooh. Snuck a knight in on us. Might be hard to win. Only a draw. I think actually we had a decent chance here, and then I realized, okay, he's actually pretty fast, and I didn't get the setup we need, which is the king on d3, because then you can pre-move anything. But the setup we had is actually a fake setup, right? Because there's no pre-moves, right? I have to give up the pawn at the end. So we needed like king here, and here I already had a pre-move position, but he had a bit of speed to him. Knight d3 was a good move. In general, he didn't really make any mistakes this game. We definitely made an achievement here by, feels like, you know, getting d4 the way we wanted, where we get to play c4. But this wasn't, I mean, this wasn't good in the end because we have this pawn that's always loose. So I have to go back and monitor this pawn, and I can't use any of my pieces to do so. So from here, we were just a little bit worse. Whereas here, we were better. Like the entire game, we were just better. Had the two bishops. We've had maybe only one or two other struggles, long struggles, where we've had this position that our opponent kind of refuses to break the tension in. And they've usually been sort of these long grinds with the two bishops, not ones that I feel like are very easy to mimic at all. But I think countless times we sort of should be taking and playing bishop f3, for example, like just putting pressure on this, and d4 is always not very desirable because of that. So I was sort of reluctant to take on d5 out of principle because I was like, man, if he pushes or takes, that's exactly what we want, but couldn't end up doing it. And yeah, I probably should have played bishop e2 here and just kept the pawn like that, but again, played c4 and just had to put up with a pretty uncomfortable position here, especially with g5 happening. In terms of the opening, oh yeah, this was kind of a nothing opening. Basically, we were in the middle game right away because both of us got our setups here. Knight f3. Okay, and we have our stuff. I like to go with the early c3 when I see this because I know that the e-pawn is going to come under pressure, so I want to make sure that it is well defended. And we basically, yeah, we kind of have our setup. Ooh. E5 in general, we're happy to see. That's a move that doesn't bother us at all. Would be nice to leave the knights there for the pressure, but I'll move back. We have knight d2 to defend this if necessary. And I'm actually looking at bishop c4 here to help the knight, but the other way to do it would be just g3. The thing is, he's going to put the bishop here. What are we doing after that? I think we play king h2 bishop. I just can't play bishop there right now because of the pawn, but I can defend it with my king. Yeah, he's going to do the same thing. Makes sense. Let's get the king up. I kind of thought that he was going to be playing this, but he's done a good job delaying that. And, you know, color me shocked that he plays it now. Queen on e2 does basically the queen on c2 is not doing anything. It's watching the pawn, but on e2 it does all of that plus more. And I like the pressure on that pawn. Okay, so here we're probably going to need to do bishop e3. And because the rooks are going to double, I think we need to move this knight. This queen I definitely like a lot better over there. I'm wondering if bishop g5 will be played, so I'm just going to play h4 against that. Okay, so that was definitely his intention. It's hard for me to buy into this. There's no way that this should be good. But I see what he wants to do, right? He wants to take with the bishop, and then the pressure's here, and then the pressure's here. So in some ways it does make sense. Let's try this. See if we can get something to work here. We're going to hand over the h-pawn, but the queen's going to get out to g4, h5. Looks like we'll get some good stuff out of that. Okay, so queen g4, queen h5. Queen g4 feels pretty correct. Mainly because this is not playable. Okay, so queen here threatens this, but there's the phenomenal rook f6. We also can play rook h1, which is what I'm probably looking more at. And this is still loose. Queen h5 is still in the air. Interesting. He plays bishop there. I'm not sure that makes a lot of sense. He's about to get mated here. Like, he has this check, but I thought he was in serious trouble here. I mean, it's basically mate. Rook f4. Pretty much the only move that I can see. Takes, I guess, like that. It's probably the best you can do. Yeah, I think rook f4. Gotta play it. obviously there's mate to follow. Okay. I wonder what the, like, if I had like 2 seconds, I would understand these moves, but I truly wonder what these moves. Sure, I'll take this, buddy. I'll take this. You want to keep playing? We can keep playing. Want to have some fun? So he's got 0. You see how tricky that is? We could have lost right there. What kind of trickery is that? My guy's got 0 seconds. I made a move, and he still made a move. Kind of nonsense. GG to the Meg. Early b6 prompts me to play early c3 because I need to defend this. Because imagine that you castle here and they go bishop b7. It's a real question. How do you defend this? Right? You don't really have a good way. Your rook's not on e1 yet. Your queen's not on c2 yet. So I do like to make sure that I'm set up for this queen c2 move when I need it. Overprotect the e-pawn. Get the c4 square for ourselves. And, you know, bishop f1 tuck, h3 move. This is all standard. Plus knight c4. We're on move 14, and I think we've had these moves almost every single game. Light square bishop trade where we can. And queen d1 I do think is the right move here. And yeah, after bishop g5, it's just over. It looks like he's achieving what he wants, but none of his pieces are actually in this game, right? Everything's locked out over here. So he's got 2 rooks, and that's not enough to just checkmate me. Meanwhile, I got a lot of firepower aimed at this king here. e4, d6. It's looking like knight here. I'm also kind of wondering about like an immediate e5, if that would change anything, but I guess we'll go here. Seems to be pretty consistent with how we've always played. And yeah, on these knight f3 moves, I think we will be taking on d4. Both recaptures are very possible. Let's go c6. And yeah, bishop d3 makes a bit more sense to me than bishop c4, which we sometimes have been seeing here. So bishop e7, knight f5, I have to say I don't really care for. So I'm kind of thinking more like, yeah, g6, bishop g7 type of stuff. So I believe in this case, I might try g6, bishop g7. Let's have a look at it. See if we like it. The other way, which is a bit more like our system, is knight c5, bishop e7. But I mean, let's see how something like this goes. f5. It definitely feels like this is the move to try. Knight e2. There's a free piece looming here, right? With c4 check. Question is, how does he want to lose it? I don't think we want to allow knight e6 for no reason, so I'm going to capture back like that. F takes would be nice for our rook, but it would allow check, would allow knight e6, all these bad things. d3 is a threat, so we'll probably see king h1 or like queen d3 or something. Knight e4 kind of looks good. I'm torn between like just snapping the pawn and because bishop e7 is technically there. you know, you're not supposed to allow that. But knight e5 is playable here because we take on c4 at the end as well. What is the best move truly, though? I don't know. Let's go for this one. I think I'm maybe not even going to take on f6 after an 85. If he plays bishop takes f6, I might just snap on c4 right away. But hey, maybe he just moves the bishop. Possible. Then we take on e4 though, and I think we kind of got the best of both worlds because bishop e7, we can now play rook e8. A little backwards knight move, and then that means we can focus on dealing with that bishop. Knight g4. Should be doing something here. It's the milkman. Knight f2 wins the game. Rook d1 is a very possible move. I think just doubling up. Bishop e5 kind of makes sense. We're just going to focus on our trades. Maybe like queen d2 and... not sure if this was wise by him, but I think we'll probably get our trade regardless because we have bishop to e5. And GG. GG to the milkman. We do see f4. I told you we're going to be seeing this more and more, but taking on d4 and c6 has been pretty okay. And yeah, here I think g6. I think g6 is the move. Yep, I think we played this one pretty nicely, actually. Can't complain. All right. Knight f3. We're looking for e4. We're going to get it. c3. I feel like the only difference is there's a pawn now on c5. So I'm just going to go here. Queen b3 is not really as effective there. We want to play a4, rook e1, bishop f1. I think I'm going to play bishop f4. May as well stop this and stop that as well. Queen a5, we can just take the knight. Queen e7, we can go bishop d6. So I can honestly see him playing this. Ooh, look at this move. That's a bad move for sure. We're very happy to see this one, guys. Very happy. I think we want to reroute the knight. No, the bishop on c1 I pretty much leave there almost all the time, but when my opponent gives me the bishop pair, it's a little bit easier to maneuver. Knight d6. I don't think that's anything too special. Bishop c4 though. I think this is hard to meet because the only way to hit the knight is to move this knight. And how do you actually guard that? Yeah, I was going to say, I think you have to go with the rook. Queen b3, once again, probably not quite enough because of this. It looks damn good though. Okay, he goes there. I think we can just do this. Knight e8 or knight b5 should be game-winning ideas. I think we'll probably see knight c5 here. Just out of desperation. Yeah. We can take, and on this move, we'll recapture with the bishop so that we don't drop a piece here at the end, and yeah, that should put us ahead material. But yeah, we just invaded the light squares. I was saying, as soon as I saw e5, I was like, no, this guy's probably done for here, unfortunately. GG, not too many moves there. This, great opening. We get the bishop pair. At this point, I'm down to move my bishop because I've got the knight g4 protected. This one is also a pretty nice square. So based on this, knight e5 intention, to me it made more sense to go bishop f4. And then, yeah, this is terrible. You have dark square bishop, all these dark square pawns. Look at these knights. They have absolutely nowhere to go. Yeah, knight on c6 is depressed. Knight on e7 is depressed. And meanwhile, we know exactly where our pieces go because they go there all the time. Bishop on e3 is safe with this pawn here. No knight g4. This bishop, always useful. Knight always goes to c4. And in this case, by the time I needed to make another decision here, like maybe double the rooks or whatever, knight d6 just worked. Queen b3, and yeah, you had to play knight d8 to watch this, but I mean, there's going to be something wrong with this. Maybe even doubling the rooks is good enough. Literally, like every piece is trapped here. Okay, we start with knight f3. Okay, queen there definitely makes me think of capturing, but we're gonna continue to hold off. Okay, bishop back. We do outweight him, and I think you guys will probably notice the position is eerily similar to the one we just had, right? So I am going to develop my bishop. f4 is not an option, so this one makes the most sense. And once again, two dark square pawns, dark square bishop. We even saw these knights last game, exact same thing. Not very well placed. So I think we can be pretty happy here. Let's go a4. I have a feeling we might see a bit of a too early f5. Okay, I think we're basically going to do the exact same thing. I guess we'll just take that. Kind of thinking to myself, like, do we really want to take? Almost looks like we could leave the pieces on the board for more devastating effect, but no, I'm not really seeing it. I think let's go here. Probably to play g3. Stop queen h3 there. Knight g4 will tuck the bishop back. Just want to make sure we don't trade these bishops. So king h7, yeah, want to be careful there. I'm liking 93 potentially. Keeping this defended. I think he might consider a different move. Okay, it goes queen e6. Let's go f3. And then knight e3. I also like queen d8, so I think I might throw this one in. And knight d6 next. Knight d6, I guess there's knight c6. So let's play queen d6. Most of the trades should really benefit us here. The bishops will be really nice as soon as they're activated. That's quite the move. This is a really nice pawn structure. Again, the knights are just kind of dominated here. And we just bring the king in now. Feels like the position is a little bit paralyzed. Can't really avoid the exchange of pieces here. I think we got to go back. Continue hunting these pawns. Play h5 next. King up. I guess we're sort of getting flagged. H6. Yeah, well, definitely h6 now. Don't play king h5. But also if king h7, we had knight e7 and bishop g8, which arguably, yeah, I think it's even an even nicer checkmate. Knight e7, bishop g8. We got like a pawn, two bishops, and a knight working for mate. It's pretty nice. Okay, all these positions where they fianchetto, they bring the bishop out, and you get the bishop pair. Oh my goodness, these are like freebies every time. Two pawns like that, it's like same game. A4, cycle the knight, maybe g3. And yeah, just keep the bishops. Yeah, so I mean this endgame, by the way, we're not even up a pawn here. It's almost +4. +4. That's how bad the position is for black. And how good our pawn structure is. It's literally perfect here. Couldn't be better. Okay, Arn Dave. Take our tempo on the pawn here. Go e5 so that bishop there can be met with bishop e7. And we're getting castled safely. Definitely feels like b5, a5 is the way to go here. But I'll just go knight d7. I think bishop a2 will go here. And if he wants to play bishop f7 and win the rook, he's going to lose the knight in the process. It'll be an interesting imbalance because he also gets two pawns for it. Here, I thought about this. Normally, this is what you do. You play b3 in these positions. It's at the cost of a pawn to you, but it can work out. Okay, so takes that way. I think just rook b8 here with the goal of trying to not let him push. We'll see, though. See how successful we can be. Bishop e3, bishop e6. This does not look particularly scary. g6 seems like it handles it well. We also have this. But I'm almost liking rook b4 the most because it prevents d4. And I feel like d4 is kind of his... It's almost like his ticket out. So this could be the wrong call, but this prevents this, prevents this. I'm a big fan of this move. Because yeah, these are sad pieces over here now. g6 is going to be such a good move to deal with the knight here. Bishop on a2 doesn't exist. Bishop e6 is looking like the best square for that piece. Yeah, so we'll put some pressure here. He's definitely going to go knight d2. But I don't think we mind that. Continue to add everything together here. We can still take that, but I don't think that's the answer. Let's just continue to make useful moves. Okay, even this is kind of a funny move because he has to go back. Yeah, so we always can win our pawn back. We're not in a particular rush there. h5 looks great. Okay, the reason I did this is I was actually thinking rook a6, queen a7. And I thought that won this bishop. He has a few bits of annoying, annoying sorcery. Definitely deserves to lose a piece here, I think, but I'm not sure that he actually will. Okay, we did win some material. Queen a4, knight c2. Kind of the only move. And now if the queen moves, I think d5 is the one we want. But what I need is I need to trade the queens. I'm not really going to be okay here until I trade all the pieces on the board. Here, knight e3, I'm still putting up with my c-pawn hanging, so I don't know. Let's go here. I want all my pawns on light squares so that, for example, knight e3 is completely controlled. Obviously, he can repeat here, but I'd probably be okay with that. Also, I think I can switch to maybe go down like that. Let's take here. I think he's relying on knight c4, but let's go here. Okay, now we're really on the run here. This position is very annoying. We should have it completely locked up. Okay, fortunately he takes. So that's a nice pawn for us, I believe. Some combination of pre-moves should be good enough here. GG to Arn Dave. Kind of thought we had a just game over material here with like rook b1, etc., etc. But the annoying queen checks. Otherwise, quite a clean game. This b3 idea is the number one way to handle this. Like normally white plays a4, but if they play a3, knight c5, b4, and then b3 is just one of those things that in practice it tends to work out. Maybe the engine doesn't always absolutely love it, but yeah, rook b4 here, I think white's completely dominated. And yeah, rook b4 is definitely the best move. Oof, just, it's like a coffin. A coffin here. What can you do? GG to R and Dave. Okay, for game not money, all right. Knight f6. We'll go d6, and of course we want the pawn on e5. So even e4, we'll play e5. Okay, he's really tempting the knight d5 idea. So let's take, because I think we might be able to make it happen. Knight d5. Is it good yet? Not quite. Oh, it's close. It's very close to working. I guess we'll hit this pawn. Maybe it'll prompt that defense, and then I think knight takes d5 works. Yeah, so he's going to capture, but that's what we want. That is what we want. Bishop back to e7 because we have to be ready to defend this pawn. Respect. I think we'll just take, though. I mean, I like this endgame for me. Remember, we got this amazing knight on c5, so I think we're in pretty good shape here. We're threatening rook d8. He's most likely going to double the rooks. And then maybe here. King d7, f6. We have these sort of moves coming up. Because yeah, once the king gets here and we bring the rook over, we'll be in an endgame where, you know, we have targets here. None of our pawns are under attack. No threats to our position. So let's see how this goes, because we should be a little bit better just due to the pawns being on dark squares there. Knight d1. Maybe he's coming here to trade, which I would actually be very interested in. Okay, bishop here, I'm not interested in trading, though. Definitely zero interest in trading for that bishop. I think it's time to play b5. And we do get some dark squares here. Now the question is, do we want to throw in capturing and playing g5? I don't think so. We're not ready to do that yet. So let's go here. Okay, king here. We want check. So he's probably going to go there. No, we're most likely winning now because he has to guard that, and we get king d4. So yeah, now the game is over. this king position is too nice. And I mean, yeah, this is why we don't want to trade light square bishops. We had a dark square concept that we were executing. Yep, that's that endgame's gonna hurt. I would leave that game as well. Materials equal, but we're looking at a position that is completely dead. And that's just because most people don't understand same color bishop endgames too well. And really, as soon as you understand that the pawns just want to be fixed on the opposite color of the bishop, such a basic concept, but you'll soar past, as we can see, even 2150s. So that certainly makes a difference. Oh no, we're playing Big Jake. Big Jake, he's back. Not Big Jake. Definitely getting the H3 move in here. A4. Typical stuff from us. Nothing new. Nothing to see here. I think knight back makes sense. I'm not too interested in taking that. Let's just go here. Knight h4 definitely looks like my next move. Probably knight there. We can also go b4 or knight b3, but this looks good enough. Bishop on c5 is super strong. Gotta think, how are we handling this? I think knight e5, knight d4 is my plan. This one works as well. Still kind of looking at knight d4 like an interesting move. I don't know about it. I could just play bishop e3 and trade it off, but this is me trying to hang on to my bishop pair, but probably foolish. Let's see. Big Jake, brother. It's a big move from Big Jake. Oops. A little too overconfident there. Big Jake. He wasn't watching the lady back home. Spending too much time out in the field. Gotta beat one to be one. The classic. Play e5. And yeah, especially with the bishop coming there, we do need to add that extra layer of support to the e5 pawn. And we'll see if we get a long castle here. Yeah, I was going to say, I suspect we will not. Knight g5, h6, bishop h7, king f8 looks all right. Actually, kind of like a4 here. Yeah, I definitely like a4. Not sure about that move. Clearly he wants the bishop here. Guess, do we just leave it for the moment? We could definitely do this, but that's going to be sacrificed for immediately. No hesitation. So let's do this. I definitely think this is the plan. Rook a2 after capturing, there's going to be bishop takes e5, so not so simple. Feels like we have to take. Not really sure what we do after this. B3's, you know, it's monitored here. So for example, if you let it go completely, I think we'll see, I would say queen f5 almost certainly. Okay. Take this and see what happens. Queen c3, but okay, we have knight d5 here. And the e5 pawn can't be touched, so this is looking pretty good for the home team here. Yeah, we got that extra pawn. h5, h4 also bothers the knight. I like this move because we're actually making a threat here on c5. And we're overprotecting e4, overprotecting f6. Honestly, I think maybe we'll just keep going. I don't know how reasonable that is. Probably going to end up playing bishop here, rook here, all the slow, boring moves. Queen e2, I think we're just going to leave it there. I'm more than happy if he captures. Okay, let's stop knight there. Can we take this? I think we can. Bishop a5, we have rook d5. Well, in this case, I think we just take, but... yeah, I don't think he can go after these pawns. Rook d8. This should be too much. We can get the active king here to deliver the win. Woo. A satisfying victory. And satisfying to see 2200 exactly. Nice. We'll take it. Very nice there. Little king sprint. Started on g8, went to e2, and made it. Yeah, it was a very slow invasion. It was like, we're coming to get you. Thank you for making it to the end of this episode of the Philidor speedrun. This opening has been super successful for me, and I hope you guys are experiencing the same elo boost. As always, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already and turn on post notifications so you do not miss our next upload. I'll see you guys in the next one.